Hello, darlings. So I had a weekend where I didn't make a video, and I know that I have to do one today because I don't think I'll be able to make another one until the end of September. I'm going away, and it's always about finding that moment. So we had storms Friday and Saturday, so I couldn't I couldn't make a video, and we're now being back in a real dome heat wave. So the sky is full of barium. It's your Jean de Barry. Barium is the element 56. That's 11, and 11 is the home. So what's this? Yep, this is somebody I'm going to be showing you his chart. We don't want that. So let's see today, 23rd. Okay, we'll keep this one because we've got the transitions on the outside now, and I'm basically focusing on these first 10 days of Mercury retrograde, blinded next to the sun, and Venus has just gone direct today. She was stationary yesterday, the 3rd of September. That day I'll always remember, the 40 nights, 40 days of Jesus in the desert. And we've got Burning Man. We've got Burning Man with the floods, water, high cardinal Cancer, as Venus was stationary yesterday in Las Vegas, which is the vagus nerve, which is the gorge, it's the throat, it's the passage. So everything is very symbolic. Yeah, I was just saying we've got the barium sky, so the heat is rising, and you know, you really have to be a warrior to live in the countryside, all of us. And one thing that worries me is just people's, you know, they don't understand the level of perception and thinking in advance. You know, Virgo, we've got Mars in Virgo at the moment. Virgo is about being of service. She is regimental. She represents that 6th house, is everything to do with service. So from nurses to military. So Mars in Virgo, if you're born with Mars in Virgo, you will have to experience injustice to innocence, some kind of discovering that you've got Mars in Virgo, discovering that attack to the fertility, to the fallopian tubes, to this girl who is a hunter. She doesn't want to get married. She's before marriage. She is that sign before Libra, which is the alchemical wedding. That is the moment that we find our inner animus. We let go of the persona. And this is what is so big at the moment, because we've got the tail of the snake, the lunar nodes, the moon rules Cancer, where Venus is. And those lunar nodes are right conjunct with, well, now where have they put Eris? Yeah, Eris is over here on this side. So we've got the North Node conjunct Eris, and we've got the South Node just before this before coming into Virgo. Very powerful, 0 degree. They go anti-clockwise. They are showing us always that midpoint between the sun's path and the moon's path. The sun rises in the west and the moon rises in the east. The east and the west is always about Mars and Venus. So we've got the South Node on that blue star, and we've got on the 8th of September, the day that the Queen died last year, at 96, which is 69. 69 is Cancer, 96 is Capricorn, your crown. We've got the big rugby match opening between France and New Zealand. And New Zealand, they stick out the tongue, which is the energy of the moon, Cancer, Kali. Hell hath no fury than that of a scorned woman, is that Cancer, Kali energy. So, allez les bleus, we've got the tail of the snake on the blue star. She's be coming into Virgo, where we've got Mars bringing up this, you know, making her masculine. So I was reading Linda Goodman's Love Signs, the first ever astrology book I read at 7 years old. And I noticed that in the book, she brings in these hypothetical planets. She brings in Vulcan, which is all about the combustion of Mercury and the Sun. Mercury rules Virgo. Mercury rules Gemini. That's mutable energy, mutable earth, mutable air, Jack and Jill, that bring us to the Twin Peaks. Opposite Leo, chaos. Opposite Cancer, destruction, into creation, Capricorn, and order, Aquarius, ruled by Saturn. Saturn is at home. So the sky's covered in barium, 56 elements. That is the number 11. And 56 is the amount of time that Pluto spent in Cetus, in the whale of the subconscious collective in the Victorian era, which is all about this Neptune currently retrograde in the first degrees of Pisces, and the North Node about to enter Pisces, and the key Chiron's last. It's going to meet as he moves into Aries, and the North Node moves here conjunct to Eris, Pisces, disease, viruses. This is the coronavirus. This is the feminine axis of the mutable cross. This is going to be eliminated because Jupiter and Mercury, the rulers of the mutable cross, they are going to focus now on their other CV, Cupid and Valentine. We've just had the floods at Burning Man. That's northwest. And they're bringing in southwest, northeast. So I need to get this video done now. We're going to go through the month of September because everything is building up for the eclipse on the 14th of October and for the 28th, both in the axis, this feminine axis of mutable earth, Virgo and Pisces. And it's going to get very hot, so I need to get this done. It normally reaches a peak at about 5 o'clock. We're coming up to 30 now. So I saw that Lavette has brought out a video on YouTube, and basically I've just been able to watch a little bit as I'm cleaning up, and I'll watch it properly later. But you cannot understand what's going on if you don't get the foundations, if you don't understand Lavette's work and how Lavette will bring you back to the basics, to the foundations. So there's so much distraction out. People are sending me videos. People are sending me videos about people saying about this eclipse and the 23rd of September. So the 23rd of September is that official ending on mainstream astrology of Virgo into Libra. And this is about Venus, the ruler of Libra and Taurus, in Cancer. And she's going to make her way back to Leo, where she's retrograded from Regulus. That's Solomon. That's why we have the Titan and 5 people. Venus makes the 5-pointed star. So we had the sinking. And this is the arc. We're making the arc. We've got the lion lies down with the thalamus. We've got Saturn right on the thalamus. So Venus is going to make her journey where she'll be in detriment in Virgo. for these eclipses, and then she will move into Libra. That is that alchemical wedding. That is the opening of your third eye. It's that, you know, this is the kids' knees, the kids' knees. This is Mercury does not rule the knees. Saturn rules the knees in Capricorn, and Saturn rules the calves, and Pisces rules the feet. So you're going to be hung upside down, or you have to go and get the basic knowledge. So, you know, I've covered it before, but you've got to know the basic mutable, fixed cardinal cross. You have the adapters. These are the signs which are bipolar. They help you adapt, to grow, to expand, to search Jupiter, expansion, to grow. And until about 45, 50, you are under the influence of what direction you're growing, wherever Jupiter is. Mercury is your expression, it's your messenger, it's how you perceive, it's how you learn, it's how you observe and mimic. He's a trickster, he's commercial, he's a navigator. They're both navigators. Mercury and Jupiter, it's how you navigate and learn and grow. But Jupiter's time is up, and Jupiter at the moment is in high cardinal Aries. He's going to be doing a 6-month retrograde, and then he'll move into Taurus. We've got Uranus in Aries. The last time Uranus was in Aries was 1939. And we've just had on the 3-9 the floods at Burning Man, which has always been a Celtic, you know, this is to bring up Pan. So that's what I was saying about Linda Goodman. She says in her book that Virgo's true ruler is Vulcan, and Macron announced on the 14th of July, Bastille Day 2022, in an interview. You had 2 women interviewing him, and him sitting in the middle of 2 ladies. That's Sagittarius between Scorpio and Capricorn, Jupiter. And the lady said, "Oh, so you're Jupiter?" He said, "No, I'm Vulcan." So we've got at the moment this birth of Vulcan taking over Virgo. Linda Goodman was very much the beginning of bringing in the whole age of Aquarius, New Age, and bringing in these hypothetical planets which are going to be brought out to us. So Vulcan is being born with this conjunction in Leo, the king, opposite, bang opposite Saturn. It's happening opposite Saturn. So birthing Vulcan, and she said that Taurus is ruled by Pan Horus. So that's the sun. Taurus is ruled by Venus, so the sun and Venus, this is the, you know, mixing, making this galactic gap. This galactic gap. So we've got between Scorpio and Sagittarius, and Gemini and Taurus. Here, this is where we've got the summer triangle and the winter triangle. So at the moment, what's happening, and that's what we see at Burning Man, we see that closed horseshoe, the wheel, and that summer and the winter triangles merging, and at Las Vegas, the throat, the gorge, and Mercury is ruling Virgo and Gemini, that your ability to bring up that Christos oil, to connect your canary to the cranberry, to your stone, which is what I've been talking about in the past videos. So Mercury and Jupiter, MJ. Somebody sent me a video today to watch with a presenter called JM. And, you know, I don't watch videos anymore. I don't watch anybody else's work. I'm too focused on my own work and my own way of seeing. I will share and look at Uno to see what's going on in the news. And he's always very clever, and they're quick videos. And, you know, I would only say to watch Lavette's videos, because Lavette is going to bring you always back down to basics. Everything else is distraction. So then the fixed cross, which is what's happening, we're moving from this mutable cross. Jupiter doesn't want to lose. He has had the wheel, exactly like in the Burning Man images of that wheel. He's had the whole journey from Sagittarius, Asia, all the way around to now we're ending Pisces. And now on the summer solstice, the 21st of the 6th, we've entered Taurus. So we've got this first Taurus, Venus, this is why she's so important, opening us into this first fixed area. So always on the horizon, we've got Venus and Mars. Venus rules Taurus, Mars rules Scorpio. Mars rules Aries on the high cardinal, and Venus rules Libra on the high cardinal cross. Leo, Sun, Aquarius, Saturn, Capricorn, Saturn, Cancer, Moon. So you've got the Sun on the fixed cross, you've got the Moon on the high cardinal. There's no Sun in the high cardinal. You've got Saturn on the fixed and on the high cardinal, and Mars and Venus, your anima, your animus. A man's hidden female is high cardinal Cancer Moon and Venus in Taurus, and a female's hidden animus is the Sun, the ruler of Leo, and Mars, the ruler of high cardinal on the high cardinal cross, Aries. So this is what's so big happening now, is that we've got Jupiter and Uranus retrograde. Uranus is right on Algol, the medulla, as he was for the opening of World War II. Right on your medulla. This is the story of Hydra, Hercules killing Hydra, or Perseus killing the monster Cetus. This is Leviathan, this is the Loch Ness Monster, this is Levis, this is Elvis. So he's right on this medulla, retrograding, and then he's going to come back over and he will enter 7 years of Taurus. Jupiter, the ruler of the mutable cross in high cardinal fire. The head of the snake on that 0 degree of Aries. So then you look, who is the ruler of Aries? That's Mars, and Mars is in Virgo. And this is just a mutable girl. She's, you know, that's when Mars is in there. That is a huge energy for her to cope with. I always say to people with Mars in Virgo, this is, you know, you're going to have to go through maybe some form of health issues, some form of abuse, some form of, because Virgo's about work. She's about finding her analytical, which can be anal, over anal, getting stuck in the little picture. She's got brilliant ability for research. She's got her skill. So Mars can activate your skill. Preparation for Mars is considered exalted in Capricorn, and we've got Pluto just retrograde from Capricorn, making this nuclear energy as he sits actually in Sagittarius right now. But this energy of Mars here and the South Node about to come in is preparation for the Virgo, Pluto and Virgo generation. So at the moment, the moon is in Aries, conjunct to Jupiter for this as I'm doing this video. But I've got this on the 8th of September. This is the Virgin Mary's birthday. And that we will have the moon in Gemini. So Mars in Virgo, moon in Gemini, square, and the ruler combust and blinded by the sun. So you always need to be looking at, if you want to understand what's going on, you have to know what planets rule which cross. And then you're looking to see, so, oh, well, Mars is in Virgo, so where's the ruler of Virgo? Well, the ruler of Virgo is blinded and conjunct to the sun And this is Black Madonna bringing up the Dauphin, and Linda Goodman saying that Vulcan rules Virgo, and Vulcan is being born, this Dauphin, blinded. So I've found something on Vulcan, hypothetical planet, was a theorized planet that some pre-20th century astronomers thought existed in an orbit between Mercury and the Sun. So this is going to be this new Lara Croft bringing up this energy into Virgo. French mathematician, this is La Marianne, by the French, who had used disturbances, the orbit of Uranus, to predict the existence of planet. Okay, I haven't read this. By 1859, got that 59, 56. So I'm not going to get into this because I haven't looked at it before, but that you can go and look up about Vulcan and Pan Horus. I found something on Pan Horus. So they're preparing us, Taurus Venus, to be discovered Pan Horus or Ceres. So Ceres is one of the asteroids which has considered the energy of the moon. So this is bringing in Kali. It's easy to see the connection between the planet of love and money, Venus, and the sensual and materialistic Taurus. Taurus loves beautiful things, soothing colours, soft sounds, as the five senses. However, Venus is the ancient ruler of Taurus and is lending the sign its guidance till its ruler is discovered. According to some, a planet called Pan Horus, which is yet to be discovered, is the true ruler of Taurus, the ruler of shepherds. Pan, so the ruler of shepherds, when the guiding ruler of the sheep, the thalamus, is Saturn. Because many believe Earth, or the goddess of fertility and agriculture, Ceres, rules Taurus. It is so. The moon is exalted in Taurus, so that's why they're saying Ceres. It is quite possible that Ceres, the goddess, represents not another planet yet to be discovered. Okay, so... And then they also talk about here Virgo and Vulcan. Virgo's primary ruler is considered Mercury's qualities of being dexterous and quick-witted are channeled by Virgo differently from Gemini. So you've got that analytical thinking in Virgo, logical in Gemini, in the sense that Virgos use their ability to process information to improve the world, sharpen their skills and serve others. That said, the rulership of Virgo is complicated because the sign's true ruler, a planet thought to be Vulcan, was never discovered. Vulcan was the Roman god of volcanoes, metalwork. He's the blacksmith and configurations, and would walk with a limp, able to constructively channel fire. So just like in Charles Dickens with Estelle and Pip, Miss Havisham, Great Expectations, Pip thought that Miss Havisham had funded his education when it was the gangster, it was the prisoner with the limp. It was the prisoner with the limp. And Estelle and Pip are in that archetype of Virgo and Gemini. So they're leaving Mercury with the two twin boys, 77. So, you know, this Altair, Pluto is currently under Altair, and if you look at the, if we look at the festival, so we've got 7, it's your throat passage, G7, dub L07, the Gorge, the Las Vegas, this is I didn't even know it was called Black Rock. So they have an image somewhere. So this is an image of Burning Man in 2017. So what the image I saw today was wheel is completely closed. There's just the gap. There's just that 05 Venus. So there's the Venus, 50 days below the horizon, and BlackRock City. Look at this. We've got the MC up here. We've got the clock, the temple, the man in X marks the spot in the middle. And this is very much, this is, you know, they're bringing in this new god, the green man, Ophiuchus, the pharmaceutical king. That's why I have open this man. I'll take you to see him afterwards. He's the Republican Party man in America who is running, and he is very much this energy of this new birth, just like Macron announcing himself. BlackRock City, Pyramid Lake with reservation. So we've got here, you've got sulfur, salt, mercury, and sulfur. BlackRock desert floods, the empire, pyramids, pyramid lake. And it's right on this other axis, and we're now going to open the new axis, the southwest, northeast. This is to open the death of the feminine mutable axis, and to bring up Jupiter and Vulcan in VirgO Sagittarius. Jupiter currently in Aries, bringing in the fire of the blacksmith. So this is your bird, your phoenix, your altar. And altar, that's what I was explaining about this A that is made with the eclipses. In 2 videos ago, I was explaining it, the new Aleph, the new AB, the new I am the first, I am the last, Mars, Aries, Jupiter, and this birth of Vulcan. So this planet is 16.6 light years. Let's open it up because of the 7-7. So it's, you know, this is the summer triangle with Deneb, Vega, and Altair. And it has, this is Britannica. I want Wikipedia. So 16.7, the Eiffel Tower is between the 7th arrondissement, the 16th arrondissement. That makes 7-7, and it's also a 0.77 visual magnitude of 77. So this is little Mercury opposite Saturn retrograde, Mercury retrograde. This is Leo, Babylon, bringing up this new green god, Mars, the ruler of Aries in VirgO, fertility. This is what their burning pagan god is. It is the green man. It is Jacques. This is the Jacques de Compostelle. This is Jacques that sits. They've just flooded in Spain as well. The rain in Spain stays mainly on the plain. This is D'Artagnan. This is the Caped Hero. Somebody sent me this video, Logic Before Authority, and I just can't get lost in watching these kind of things because, you know, I'm just staying focused on the astrology. But what he's saying is that there is a comet which is going to be crossing in Virgo for this 23rd of September. So we're going to go through from now, today, through September, looking at what's going on. So right now, the moon, the ruler of Cancer, where Venus is in Aries, conjunct to Jupiter, retrograde from today. He goes retrograde today. And Uranus retrograde from the 24th of August in Aries. And that North Node just on the last degree before going into Pisces, where Neptune is retrograde, ruled by Jupiter. And Pluto is in mutable fire, also ruled by Jupiter in Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter. So Jupiter is sitting in high cardinal fire with Neptune and Pluto in his signs, in mutable water and fire. Venus is now moving forward today with the moon picking up this energy from Jupiter and Uranus, the fire, and Sun at home, the ruler of Leo, with Mercury. So for today, Mercury is beginning to be completely blinded, and it's just going to get more and more. So we've really had, from yesterday, we're having the 369, the line broke, the monkey, the moon key got choked journey, which is just an opening for this preparation of the next 18 months of the Corona and Victor Pisces Virgo axis, and the destruction and the bringing in of this new Mercury energy ruling the Black Madonna, because they know that Pluto's going to enter Capricorn and Saturn is at home, and that many of us are through the distraction. We know that everything is created ourselves. This is why knowing the planets, knowing yourself, knowing who you are is so important. So Saturn is at home, and they're spraying the sky with barium 11, so we can't breathe. And we're going to have all these symptoms of this Eris, as we've got Eris entering Pisces, viruses conjunct to that North Node. So if we move through, so Venus, new black moon on the 15th. And that new black moon is in Leo. So that's going to be 1 month under Leo energy, as the sun will then move into Virgo. So the sun will move into Virgo on the 18th. And on that day, we'll have the moon on Spica, which is where this first eclipse is going to be on the 14th. Mars still in Virgo. So Mars is the ruler of Aries, where we've got these very powerful planets. So, and bringing in, Mars is the ruler of Aries. The sun is considered exalted here. Mercury rules Virgo, and Mercury has refound visibility by this time and will be moving forward. He moves forward on the 14th, 15th. On the 15th, he's stationary the 14th. And he moves forward on the 15th. So his journey of 777 days is what gives the tarot card the world, putting the Virgo girl between the fixed cross. If you look at the tarot card, you've got the fixed cross. You've got Taurus, Leo, and the eagle, that's Scorpio, and the man, Aquarius. So all this is happening, bringing in this girl who's going to take on this Vulcan energy. So when does Venus of the 23rd, we look at this, of the 23rd, Venus will still be in Cancer, Mercury very visible, Mars coming up to the blue star. So, you know, we might have France winning the rugby. And let's see for that comet. So I don't know how to put that comet, to find it, but newly discovered comet Nishimura is quickly brightening in the morning sky and may be faintly visible with the naked eye next month. On August the 24th, observers in North America will be treated to an occultation of Antares. So that's Scorpio. It's green. Comets in Gemini. So there is this comet coming through, and there was a meteor in the sky on Saturday seen in Turkey, green. A meteor rushed above the Turkish city, lightening up the sky in green colours on Saturday. So we've got the blue balloon as well. On that day, the 23rd, what I noticed is that the moon is going to be on the noon key, the new noon, midday. So killing on the elbow of Sagittarius. As Venus is still in Cancer, the moon rules Cancer. And that is, so this is Europe. Scorpio is in the shape of Europe. Scorpio is the eagle that should rise. This is the opposite axis to Taurus, which is already on the summer solstice. And this is where we bring up this green gods. So this guy I discovered because of this Jodie Patry JP, and I'm thinking, why on earth is she talking about Vivek Ram Aries Ramaswamy? So Vivek Ramaswamy, Vivek Ramaswamy. So she's talking very well about him, and he is, you know, he was educated in England, in Cambridge, and he is the biggest pharmaceutical. This is the green man. This is, you know, and Sagittarius is the eye of the tiger, that Vesica Pisces passage, the gap, and Jodie's is the galactic gap, the GG. She's called galactic astrology. She brings in Vedic, Indian astrology. We're having this fake barium dome heating us up, making this Indian summer. We've just had the Indian last phase of the moon, Kali. That's 69, that's Cancer. Anything to stop us finding the true twin peak energy and activation of this Pluto in Virgo, which is what all this passage is about. It's about rising this Virgo girl, Mars coming up to spike her. You reap what you sow. Have you really found your skills? Have you found your special skill, you Virgo girls, for the next 20 years? You know, she's been sold to us as Bridget Jones, always confused, always in a mess, you know, not focused when she's the high holistic priestess. And she gets activated because the true passage through the temples is the last phase of the moon. It's the hag. It is Capricorn. Capricorn, Hecate, the deadly mother that has to be activated. Saturn rules this area. So, you know, when they say they're covering us in a dome, this is the solar plexus. This is the sun and the moon's realm. The sun is at home currently, and the moon rules Cancer, and Venus is that last 8 passage to make 888s. Path of the sun makes an 8. The moon is 8 phases in all, and Venus takes 8 years to make that 5-pointed star. And the wheel that we are in to find this true creative manifesting force that we have means finding the 5th element. It means being centered between the 4 elements, the 4 humours, to find your fortune. Venus gives us that last passage. You've got to open these gates, get over the mother and father, the animus, working with Mars and Venus, Sun, Moon, Mars, Venus, to get past Saturn. Lead to gold. Put your crown on. Been talking about the 3rd of September. There's the temptations, the desert, burning man in the desert. And they're living this flood, the fertility, the waters. And we had, so I'm just going to be jumping around a bit, a few posts that I've been doing. So on the front page of the newspaper yesterday for the 3rd, we have pale pink. In French, pink is rose. Rose means pink. So that red pill, blue pill, to make that purple flame has now become a pale pink and a pale blue, which is child, which is children, which is the it's the pedophile colors. In my old blogs, and I used to talk about this, their logo is the Libra symbol, and it's in that pale pink and blue. So it's on the front cover, and they've got a coup de projecteur sur le crabos, the crab, 69. They've got a big festival in Toulouse, which is the Pink Town. It's known as the Pink Town, and it is the center, Toulouse, of the new space program, the whole. And on 9/11, there was the 9/11 in America, Mercury, Gemini, the Twin Towers. But there was also the other Mercury ruler in Toulouse, VirgO, a fertility, fertilizer factory blew up. And it's famous with a red and white lamppost, that pole, that Willy Wonka pole. There was a massive explosion on the same day in France, in Toulouse. So they've got Pink Floyd, The Wall, the Rose Festival, that happened on the 1st, the 2nd and the 3rd. And they've got this pink and blue, Notre Démocratie pourrait périr. So PP, those are the 2 90-degree angles. The PP is the 9-9. So this is taking us, that's what Burning Man is showing us. There's going to be this Mad Max rising, alternative community, people, creating their own worlds. There's no coming out of it. You're going to have to be, otherwise you're closed in these cities, these 15-minute cities. France created the Venus Project, which is what we're being taken into. This, this Lavette was, I heard in her video talking about this technology, which has always been here. We're being brought into it. We can't really fight the process. We're being taken back, but there is that trap. If you don't find the true knowledge, you're being taken into a whole new age version, the Venus Project. So, that it will be harder and harder to live amongst nature. Those of us living in the countryside, we're up against extreme weather conditions. We had at butter in French. Butter comes from milk, from the moon. We've got this guy, Oliver, carrying number 69, who wins at Burleigh, and his horse, has got a very interesting name as well. So it's your 69, it's your Kali, this is where Venus is. So it ended on the 3rd, and he did win. This is before I knew he was going to win. It's the 3rd of September. I've got the preparation. They're sponsored by Egg. That's the name of my village, the 5-pointed star. Egg on. Aignan, we pronounce that as N. And an eagle in French is egg with that L. So they've all got their Kali. It is the female energy, that mother that smothers, that punishes and rewards. Hell hath no fury than that of a scorned woman, is what is used for, you know, that aggressive energy. This is the constellation of Cancer, the Elizabeth line, Venus, the rose, pink, it's purple. You won't be able to make purple with baby pink and baby blue. It's the left and the right, finding the middle, That's why the blue dye, I didn't mention it in the last video, but I added about it. There's this blue dye people are talking about, which was all the ritual in Hawaii. Hawaii 5-0, it's that 5 of Venus, 5-0, this gap, which is the crab, the crab closing its claws, where the Venus is on those claws, and she's not yet above the horizon, rising this new morning light of Lucifer star. We've got Burning Man is at Sulfur. It's the Venus, Lucifer, Mr. Tumnus. Mr. Tumnus is this Vulcan energy. We'll surely have Vulcan coming out for the 2024 Olympics. So this Elizabeth line, there is the constellation of Cancer. Just how evil. And here is the Hydra and Prometheus, which is Hercules, which is this Vulcan figure being raised as Ophiuchus, the 13th sign. This new energy, bringing this feminine energy of the mother that protects innocence. She's even number 13 on this oracle cards. And that's why the blue moon was so important. We had this landing of the moon in India. This is Kali, because it was on this axis of Leo Aquarius, fire and air, bringing up this feminine energy on the masculine axis. So this is the 2nd of the 9th, going to have moon in Pisces, 9-3. It's an opposite to what we've just, well, no, that's what we've just had. The moon was in between the V for victory for the floods. This is the true passage, and they're bringing up the Eye of the Tiger passage with Pluto under Altair. Jupiter has no air. He uses the tail of Cetus, your Leviathan. That's why Elvis was associated with Hawaii, the blue moon. Everything was prepared for now. The Elizabeth line, this line. So they're building in the middle of Saudi Arabia, 170 long glass wall city, very much like that line. So that is your spine, the escalator. This was a post 2 days ago on the same thing. So we're showing images here on the 9-9. Venus right on that Elizabeth line. And look, we'll have the moon, the ruler, just that slither right on Pollux, Gemini then. So very important, that 9-9, that 9-9, because the moon, the ruler of Cancer, and Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, and the ruler of Virgo, where Mars is, and of Gemini, where the moon is, and the moon's ruling Cancer. So that's that 9-9, 9-1, So these are the storms we had. This is called the tongue Gascon, the area that I live. All this area, this is the Basque, this is the Gascon area. You'll see there's the tongue. So we had the tongue of Kali. So I put this post as the opening of this ritual, which we've had that 3rd of September. Look at everything going on between your vertical and horizon, Ukraine, the vertical, and Putin, the horizon, the Horin. We've got this tongue of Kali opening ritual. It's the Hydra. And we've got the New Zealand opening on the 8th in Paris, between France and New Zealand. There's the god of fertility. This is Bess. And they've got him right in between, right on the pyramids of Giza, but always with the moon, the blue moon. That was where the full moon was, Saturn and the moon. The moon is taking over this energy of, they're really, really bringing in all this stuff as Saturn is in his home, to bring in this lunar Islamic energy, the dark side of the moon. This is where I was at the closing of the Four Corners at Sulphur Point in Tauranga, New Zealand. Right, so that is the Long Gascon, very important. Talking more about that, serious dates next 10 days, the 369, the 8 gate, Tesla, September and 8th of September, Mercury invisible retro in Leo, King of France. France is the Leo and Cancer energy. We're famous for the kings, the revolution, and cheese, milk, cows. We still have all the Torah. That's the sun and the moon. Mars in Virgo, Corona, Mercury rules Virgo, Mars ruler of Aries, where Jupiter goes retro, 4th of September, and where Uranus sits retro. 3rd of September, Venus goes stationary, then direct. She went retro stationary, the death of Sinead O'Connor. The 26th of July, death of a queen, Venus. So when Venus is stationary, represents, like in Alice of Wonderland, off with her heads. 69, 96, Kali, Queen died, 8-9 at 96, which is the 69. So I'm thinking about Madonna or Bridget Bardot. Venus on the head of the Hydra, Hercules kills. So Venus on the head of the Hydra, Venus on the head, and here's Hydra. Here is Hydra. So this is very important. So that's stationary, the 3rd. She's right on the eye of this Hydra snake. Hercules kills Hydra, female fertility. Hell hath no fury than that of a scorned woman. Moon, stars, water, womb signs. Aka France, Ophiuchus, 13th sign, will slaughter Kali, all black. So we'll see what happens. Queen died. So it's really, France is the summer triangle, New Zealand is the winter triangle. This is that gap. It's what we see from Burning Man. It's, if you find a map, I have seen it somewhere, that map of the people we got to the peak amount, that semicircle is almost closed. It makes that it makes the smileys, it makes the Catman, it makes the nail clippers, it makes that closing of the claw of Cancer. So Queen died, Corona's birthday, that's the 8th of September. This year, France, New Zealand, Cali. The Rose Festival, Toulouse, Pink Panther, Rose Line, Elizabeth is the constellation of Cancer. Liza, Macbeth Line, Rose Red, births Dauphin, Mercury, Little Boy Blue. It's your UN, Scorpio, Europe, France, motorway. Yeah, there's a big motorway in France called the A69. It's your new Alpha, the new eclipse. this big A, which I've covered 2 videos ago. In a short span of 7 years, North America experiences 2 total solar eclipses and 2 annual eclipses. This map highlights the path of the total solar eclipse of 2017 and 2024. So you go look at the difference of Burning Man, of that seas, the sea. This is bringing up Merlion in Asia. The new Merlion, Mercury with the floods of the womb, and Mercury hidden in Leo, the king, bringing in the sea energy. And the annual solar eclipse of 2021 and 2023. So we've got coming up October the 14th, 2023, and I've showed you in maps total solar eclipse, April the 8th. This is October the 14th, so we've just had the flood opening up here, where we've got the Black Rock Mountain, Burning Man, and that is, they're birthing this A. A is 1, and Altair, that eagle. That's why you've got Dodi and Diana dancing at Harrods statue, Harrods statue, Harrods. So this statue, this is their new fixed cross. This is the rhombus, this is the diamond, and there's Altair, the eagle. It's being marked now as Pluto is under the eagle, still in Jupiter's home, Neptune in Jupiter's home, and Jupiter the ruler in High Cardinal Aries, Alpha, I am the first and the last. So September the 8th, Mary, the church celebrates Mary's birthday on September the 8th. This feast day is exactly 9 months after the solemnity of the Immaculate Conception on December the 8th. The church makes no claims as to the historical merit of either dates. So France, New Zealand playing in Paris, and that's going to be exactly 9 months before this next eclipse in April 2024, to be the birthing, and then for the Olympics of this Marianne. So a controversial new A69 motorway in southern France. What do you think? Proponents claim the Castres-Toulouse motorway is vital for the economy. So this is moving away that rose line to the new axis that they want to hit this southwest, northeast. That's why we have that heat wave in Toulouse and Munich. It's the journey of Jacques de Compostelle. It's the journey of Jacques. They're rising Pierre, Pisces, Paul, Polo, Sagittarius, and Jack on their new rose line. That's why you've got Jack and Rose on the Titanic making the cross, which is the same thing as Dodi and Diana, D-Day is Jour J, Grace Jones, Gregorian Julian calendars. This has been planned. So this is the king of tyrants sent Hercules to slay the Hydra, which Hera had raised just to slay Hercules. Upon reaching the swamp near Lake Lerna where the Hydra dwelt, Hercules covered his mouth and nose with a cloth to protect himself from the poisonous fumes. He shot flaming arrows into the Hydra's lair, the spring of Amymone, a deep cave. So that's your amygdala, your medulla. Am is your soul, Amy Winehouse, which emerged only to terrorize neighboring villages. He then confronted the Hydra wielding either a harvesting sickle. So this is what I said in those 2 videos ago. I'm saying that this A is the same as you get with the sickle and the hammer of communism, Russia, bringing in this, bringing the three religions into one religion, bringing socialism, fascism, and communism into one. This is the new A, the new beginning. So this is bringing us to the Medusa. The alternative version of this myth is that after cutting off one head, he then dipped his sword in its neck and used its venom to burn each head so it could not grow back. Hera, upset that Hercules had slayed the beast she raised to kill him, placed it in the dark blue vault of the sky as the constellation Hydra. She then turned the crab into the constellation Cancer. Hercules would later use arrows dipped in the Hydra's poisonous blood to kill either foes during his remaining labors. And you can carry on reading that, but if you can join the dots, it's really what's happening now. So this is 9/6, 69, that's 96. We're going to have Mercury totally blinded. Totally blinded. Little Mercury, and Mercury the ruler, where Mars is Saturn at home, and the moon on Aldebaran. The moon on Aldebaran. So this person Vivek Ramaswamy, he has got the moon on, it says on Algol here, but she was saying it was on Aldebaran, I think, but it's in Taurus, the moon in Taurus. So this is bringing up this Pan Horus. This is his natal chart, so he's got all this Cancer. The moon rules Cancer, where he's got exactly what we're about to have. Mercury retrograde, combust the sun on this 369. The line broke, the moon key got choked. He's got Saturn exalted in Libra. Venus rules Libra, where Venus is currently now in Cancer. Venus he's got in Gemini, little trickle treats. And he's got Uranus exalted in Scorpio, working with all his Cancer. So no wonder he is the pharmaceutical Uranus in Scorpio, and he's got just between that gap where they're bringing up the green pharmaceutical climate change god, between Uranus and Neptune right here. He's got Jupiter in Capricorn. So he's got all this feminine energy. He's got the old hag. He's carrying this hidden anima energy. He's got his Venus and his moon, Venus and Gemini moon exalted in Taurus. He's got his North Node in Aries, where North Node is now. And he's got it. So yeah, and so you can go and read about him, but this is very much a green man. He's got a finger of God pointing to the moon, working between his Neptune and Pluto. So again, they like to jump the generation. He's Pluto in Libra generation. They do not want the Pluto in Virgo generation taking hold. So that 9/6 is a big date. And it's all preparation for the next eclipses, for this comet, the 23rd. This comet will be here somewhere. Well, I can't cover everything. So let's go back to what I was reading. Yep, so I show moon on Aldebaran, the 9/6. Again, that Elizabeth line. So Venus rules Taurus, Venus rules Libra, where the tail of the snake is on that last degree. This is all just playing with anima animus. And there's this 369 this is why that 8 is so important. It's the Virgin Mary's birthday, and she is the ruler of the world. Tarot card 21, and Mercury is retrogrades for those 777. 21, the world, there she is in between the fixed signs. So that 8, Venus makes that 8. You've got the 3 8s here, the sun, the moon, they put at 9, but the moon is 8 phases. Giving the moon energy to Jupiter. It's 9 9, 9 8. The rugby match opening in France, the lion, Merlion in Asia, Merlion. It's the fishtail and the king, the cap, the king. The lion lies down with the lamb. You've got your 777, the world, and the king with the energy of the moon, taking that female lunar energy. George J.F. Kennedy, the revolution, and that is the journey. So this is the journey. Paddington, Marble Arch, this is the journey of the Elizabeth line. I think, I might be wrong, that Elizabeth line. And God created the woman. And there you've got west, east. The sun rises in the west, the moon rises in the east. And we're coming up, Venus is coming up as the morning star. Rising. There again is the Hydra. It's our spine. It's the staircase, the spine. There's Merlin, the Paris Olympics, the cock. There is Aquarius. There's the V for victory. So we had the moon between. This is the passage, and they're giving us the Indian Eye of the Tiger passage, the bullseye, the queen, the Cancer, the breast of Venus, Ophiuchus, the masculine axis killing the feminine, Taurus and Scorpio. There. That is the 8th of September. Bess, again, 3rd of September, Loch Ness, Rose Festival. And there you see, very much like Burning Man, that sea. And here is that gap and the green god. So we've just seen a green comet in Turkey, Midnight Express, the breast, straight down the line, the Nile, the line, the Jordan. This is the hawk killing the Milky Way, Altair, the hawk. It's Madonna with the very German coming in, taking the energy, taking that stone, Mars in VirgO, and Uranus on Medulla, the Medusa. It's the Queen, 82, BP, and there is. And this is very much what they're showing in the Burning Man here. They're showing that. So I did see somewhere that this year's 2023, that sea is almost closed. Just leaving that 5-0 gap of Venus. They made sure to show us the big rainbow. The big rainbow, the burning man. This is the light. They show us the burning man in the middle of the rainbow. There's a circle, the rainbow is your brain bow, or you find the full circle, you find the full red on the top. And they've even got an upside down cross at Burning Man. I mean, so what's going on is that these people are blocked. They can't exit Burning Man. They're stuck there. And, you know, this is really very much what we're going to start living. And they're saying that these people are going to be able to cope. And when you see the results of the Burleigh, are the results of the Burleigh horse trials. So you had Oliver Townend, number 69, Cancer at 33. You've got David Dole, D-Day, DD, 33.7. And you've got CC 33, Harry Mead. So you've got 3 English, the Cross, and then you've got New Zealand in 4th place. But I mean, all those numbers, look, you've got here, I did notice that we've got the L377 there, 337, 337. So it's your passage. The towns. And who won was riding Ballamore. It's from Irish, meaning the Great Way. These people are trapped. The Burning Man traffic account on X. X marks the spot. They've been going for over 30 years, so celebrating the cycle of Saturn as Saturn sits at home. Just finish these pictures. We've got that 7-7 again, making that like that 42 for the Paris Olympics. The Queen, Venus retrogrades. The Madonna, Europe is that Scorpio. And this is the killing again. That's the William Blake image coming out the sky. And that's what you see just above VirgO. So this is that upside down here, that compass upside down, just between the Whore of Babylon, VirgO, and on the tail of Leo, we have Denebola. And this is this comet that this person is explaining, and I can't get it. Find the comet, Nishimura. So it starts for the black moon. We've got the black moon coming up in Leo on the 14th, or is it just the 15th? It's just the 15th. Right here, Denebola, and this is this coming in of the comets. Denebola, so again, it's a blue star.
Swipes the star with its tail.
Now go through the minutes and show you. And that's on September 14th. So keep your heads up and expect something big to happen on September 14th. It's right there, written in the stars, family. And as you keep going, you can see it straightens back out. And I'll zoom back out for you. When you get to the 15th, and I'll zoom out, you could see It's already past the woman's crown.
After the black moon, and there it's right underneath this upside down compass, which is what we saw with William Blake on St. Paul's Cathedral. Here. And that was the opening of Corona, and he held that compass on the breast, So this is what I'm seeing now in this video, is that between Leo, which is very much the generation of, people born at our time with Pluto between Leo and Virgo, just on the tail. Many of us have got Pluto, so it's very much about our generation.
And remember it's flying at like light speed. And if you look at the direct path, it's headed directly for the asteroid Child. And the dragon stood before the woman to devour the child as soon as it was born. And remember, the asteroid Child crosses the line and comes out of her womb, it looks like, on 9/15.
Child comes out of her womb. This is the birthing of the child, the Dauphin, the son of the Black Madonna. And it will be birthed September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June.
The expected Rosh Hashanah Feast of Trumpets Yom Teruah date. And again, this comet is headed direct.
So there's Ceres. Ceres, they're saying, is Vulcan. We saw that. Saw that. We saw they're bringing in Ceres rules Taurus. Ceres representing Earth itself. So it's Cancer energy. The moon rules Taurus. We're going to have moon in Taurus on that 23rd date. So bringing up this ruler of the agriculture, as Mercury, the ruler of VirgO, it will just be moving forward in Leo, just be getting visible again. So Ceres is being associated with Pan, Horus, or Ceres, giving that female energy to Gemini. Ceres right there on top of Spica, the blue star. Well, that's it.
Directly for the asteroid Child.
As you go through the days, you could see it heading straight for Child. A direct line straight to Child. And here's where it gets.
Harmonia, who is the opposite of discord, which is Eris. And Eris is opposite, conjunct to the North Node entering into Pisces. I explained that in the last video. Harmonia, harmonious, is your pH, your 7. Finding that harmony.
It's extremely gigantinormous.
Because verse 4, his tail drew the third part of the stars and did cast them to the earth, is exactly what it looks like happens right here, family. As you go through the days, you could see it busts a left, goes into the woman and out of the woman. And I'll back that up. And I'll zoom in. So you could see the blue and yellow tail. And I'll go through the hours. And you could see that this comet is dodging all the stars, and it's whipping its tail all the way around, missing everything. Remember, it goes into the box of the woman on the 20th. Right there. And as you go through the hours, it's still whipping its tail and missing everything. Barely missed that asteroid. And remember, on the 22nd is when it goes past the line, out of the woman, and it's spinning in a circle, whipping its tail, swinging its tail. And as soon as it crosses that line,
so these are the very dates I'm going away, and 14th to the 22nd, great. 22, we've got the sun fully in Virgo, enters Virgo on the 18th. The moon will be on Spica. You need to look at the screen. I'm not talking because you can read. So the worm in the apple, this is what I was telling you. This is the dune. This is the worm. This is the asexual. This is the rotting of the American pie, the American dream. Gainsbourg, the G in the what landed on the moon, the compass, the G. He is the Gainsbourg, and he lived at 5 Rue de Verneuil, the eye of the worm, Verneuil in Paris. They're bringing up this girl in Paris. I was watching a little documentary about Madonna. She was completely produced in France. Her very first work at 21, the people from Jean-Paul Gaultier, JPG, to Marwai, who wrote music for her. She's always been a French production to help bring up this energy of the dark side of Virgo, Venus in Virgo. This is the ability, the eye, the apple is your third eye. The breast of Venus should be this opening of the third eye. Yeah, so that red apple on the black and white, and that's where the north-south node are about to enter onto the feminine axis. This is really bringing up this new sterile woman. Okay, enough of that. So that is your William Blake. There's your Levis, Elvis, Levi, and this is the sword, the cross. This is your Virgin, and there's the heart. Is your heart heavier than the feather? Mart. This is why it's so important, that south node right now between the feather and the apple, the weight, the heart, Venus, Mart. So we're coming into Virgo now. You've had your periods to find that balance, that harmony. There is Nike in the Louvre with no heads. She stands in front of Buckingham Palace with the head. There's again, I'm showing that storm this weekend, Friday, Saturday we had. Showing the A's here, the A of NASA, obviously. This is the Aries symbol upside down. Very good, the psychology of projection. And again, is a very interesting image, and they've written Canada. Notice the giant pole on the map sits right on me in Western Kentucky. The Mississippi and the lowest point show the most pressure from above, the most weight. The maps showing the craters all around the US in a circle pattern. Circle around this pole. The only place that doesn't have impact sites. Kentucky is the only US lower 48 state to not have gold found in its dirt. Add it all up. Where's the 3 huge total solar eclipses lining up at, making the Aleph symbol? Okay. Cairo's Last, Pink Floyd, The Nile Song, 1969. It's what we're living now. This is all going backwards. The Moors people, more Pink Floyd. This is about the blinding of the sun. You've got that orange and blue that was seen in the sky. You can read that. More is a 1969 film. And yeah, more comes from amour, armour, the ore, the gold, the Moors, the Morse codes. The 1911 in Britannica observed the term had no real ethnological value. So yeah, it's so the Moors people, first used by Christian Europeans to designate the Muslim populations of the Maghreb. So bringing up the lunar energy, the moon. Morocco is the 5-pointed star. This is at the Lion Gates in Orge, the capital where I am. There you've got that M, very much in the style of Notre Dame. This is always, that is your stone, your third eye between the temples. Blue door with the Virgin. And we've got the Jacques de Compostelle now in the middle, and there's the Black Madonna with the Dauphin, which is what's being born. So what's being born? Storm in Idalia, in Florida. The floor is the intestines. It's VirgO, the floor of Ida, hurricane. So this bringing up Levis, L lives, full blue moon, obviously in Aquarius. So that was all for that. And I've got here about Ida and Delia. So Delia is the goddess of fate. She is the giver and taker of goods and property. Delia is often confused with and hard to distinguish from Lima, another goddess of fate. And Ida is the nurse to Zeus. She is the nurse to Zeus, the daughter, the mother of Minos. Ida, one of the nurses of Zeus. Ida. And then I had a few posts hidden. This was absolutely hidden. They're bringing in these new rules, hiding once in a blue moon. L lives, 007 3773. L lives, How Wowie 50. The Who is the Leviathan in the Bible? In the book of Isaiah, Leviathan is a sea serpent symbolizing Israel's enemies. In the book of Job, Leviathan is a fire-breathing crocodile, perhaps personifying an aspect of creation that is beyond human comprehension or control. So again, the Betty Blue with the 37.2 we saw in the results. And there was the Saturn and Moon conjunct. in Aquarius on the 30th. And the blue, Hawaii. And we've got Jupiter and Saturn in between Cetus, Saturn in Aquarius, Jupiter in Aries with the V for Pisces, the victory passage right here. There is that Vesica Pisces. And Amélie Poulain, Montmartre, Virgo girl becoming solar, and the female energy being used as the hidden hand, and that compass at Buckingham Palace. You know, in Paris, the Arc de Triomphe has got the Champ de Mars. We've got Mars in Virgo now. Contact and Vega. That's Loch Ness. There's William Telltale with the tail of the whale. He has no air. He kills the apple, and he's the William Telltale tale. That's his Willie. Save Willie. It's the Mary Tudor Rose that I covered last week. And this is your 10, your X, and 2 X's makes this new diamond triangle. Well, Harlequin, it's the Harlequin, it's the Hibbux. I said it right at the beginning of the video. So that's all Denver. The den of the worm is opened. Den, ver is the worm. Okay. The blue moon, once in a blue moon, 13th moon, just like on the turtle's back, the the tourterelle, a torture L, 3/7 in French, it's a totter, the pigeon is a tourterelle. The blue moon is the 13th moon, so pigeon is Gemini, air, it's just a pigeon, got nothing to do. The pigeon is just a little messenger, giving this energy to little Mercury. But the leap year, jour J, Gregorian Julian calendars create a 13th sun. 13 is your MM, 13 is the BB22, Venus flytrap, catch 22. Basically, the moon bursts the Dauphin from the masculine axis, Aquarius, Leo, using moon Saturn as female birth. Merlion, blue boy is born. With the traditional definition, a blue moon happens every 7 times every 19 years. Those calculations mean the next lesser defined blue moon will occur August the 19th of 2024. However, the next blue supermoon won't happen until 2037. So, La Rochelle, Rocks, France, 1677 007, the mutable XX marks a spot. We find the alchemical wedding of the anima animus. Dove tourterelle, this bird native to Western Asia, only appeared in France in the middle of the 20th century, but today is very common to observe in our parks and gardens. The dove measures between 31 and 33 centimeters for 47 to 55 centimeters wingspan. So again, the anima and animus are a zygony of dualistic Jungian archetypes among the array of the animistic parts within the self, described in analytical psychology and archetypal psychology under the umbrella of transpersonal psychology. What is a monthly blue moon? I read all this last time. You can read that. This is all about the alchemical marriage, which is what is meant to be happening, finding your masculine, feminine, Mercury ruling Gemini and Virgo to go up through your Las Vegas which they burn, burning man to find your third eye. Those are the alchemist sisters. Mutus Liber, the Rochelle, the rock. So we've just had a black rock. The floods. There is your blue, the blue and reds, which has now become pink and pale blue. And this phoenix, that's what Altair should really be. And that fifth element between the four humours is your Christ. And that's Mary Magdalene and Jesus, Corona and Victor. Jesus is feminine. It's the feminine axis of Pisces and Virgo. When you merge that together, you find that honey and milk, pituitary and pineal glands. And you can fly, your canary can fly. So there's the 13 moons, the turtle back, the three crosses, Allez les Bleus with the cock, Jupiter. And it's always this X marks the spot of the 322 and the great solar eclipse. We're coming to this closure now. And this is very much stuff I covered in the last video. So 22 years since 2001, read that. And this is the alchemical marriage between Sun, Moon, Mars and Venus marks this opening of your upright five-pointed star. That is when the summer and winter triangles merge. Figure 13, that is what the 13th blue moon was. 31st. Anima, read that. Animus, read that. Read all that. Okay, Bess again. Newspapers, these two things flashed up at me. Somebody posted this image. So 15 is the devil card, and we had on the same day this guy. So you've got red, blue, and this white flame in the middle, that violet, ultraviolet violence flame of merging, and where we're being reduced to this childish pink and pale blue. So he's carrying the flag. He looks very much like the devil. He's at Lourdes, and he's carrying the XV of France, and both those images came to me that day. So look at that. It's just in Pisces, you've got that extreme bipolar from Christ consciousness to complete gangster energy. I think we've done that, have we? The turtles, that's Madonna, what I saw in Madonna, and this is this little thing. It's just showing her whole journey through France. So I said, so you thought Madonna popped up in the Big Apple. She is a maiden to Appy, the bull god of fertility turned into a whore. New York is so on that 23rd date, we've got the moon on Aldebaran. New York is where the apple rots and births and ver and œil, where that's the eye of the worm, where the Marianne Faithful in the, he's called Kenneth Anger, did Lucifer Rising, using Marianne Faithful, is a Virgin Mary, Black Madonna, Mère is C in French, mother to the Dauphin, a French icon. She is Notre Dame de Grace, fallen, and the earthly pleasures. So grace is the 666 pillar. You've got the middle pillar, 777, and you've got the the grace and the pillar, the opposite of mercy. You know, well, just the opposite of mercy. So those, that 666, 777, 888, I would think more that Mercy would be the 888. But on that dark side of the moon, Pink Floyd, you see spirit, and the colour, that rainbow, is flesh. Finding that ability to move to your higher conscious, heaven on earth spirits. She is Notre Dame de grace fallen, and the earthly pleasures of the garçon. That's boy in French. That's Gemini, garçon, risen. She rose, pink in French. From the waters of Pisces, she still carries morning dew. She is Venus in Virgo, she has thorns, and she is the dark side of the moon. Hormonal Liza, she is Bollywood Kali, she is protector of innocence. She is a virgin turned into a pute. Hormonal Liza, she is a French production, Betty Blue, Allez les Bleus, France Bleu, Blue Moon, Blue Velvet, Spiker, Blue Star of Virgo. Harvest, Testa d'Urberville is the material LA woman. Milky Way, urban. Amethyst, rural. Aphrodite, urban. Venus in Virgo, Eris or Europa. True Blue is the third studio album by American singer-songwriter Madonna, released on June the 30th, 1986, which is probably about the date of the birthing from what we just saw, this comet. It's going to be June, 9 months after, by Sire Records. So 1986 is the year of the tiger. 1986 is also the last year of Pluto in Virgo, 68 to 86. So that is all explained there. Spot that diamond shape at the top of the heads that Diana and Dodie make. This is the compass closing in on our God spot, the silence of the lands. We're being seriously silenced now. Silence of the thalamus. And at last, this brings us to my last newsletter and my last video. These are my two tourterelles, a little couple that live in front of my window. And anything else, I think, yep, that was the opening. After I did the video, this was the first thing in the newspapers, and they gave us this date, the 1st of the 9th. So it really is the opening until this 23rd, which the sun will be in Virgo, but in mainstream astrology, that is that passage, Venus the ruler of Virgo, of Libra. So when does Venus enter Virgo? So there we've got the eclipse, the 14th. So the eclipse is going to be Mercury, Moon and Sun all on the blue star. Mars still there. And Venus will be in Leo at that time. So, I mean, that is really the Venus and the Moon is the hidden anima. The Sun and the Mars is the hidden animus. And we've got all this energy of the Lion and Virgo. Mercury and the Sun. Mercury rules Virgo, the Sun rules Leo. That is your Vulcan energy. So when does Venus enter Virgo? Venus enters Virgo on, you named it, 2nd of the 11th, which is the famous date that we had a girl killed in Villers-Cotterêts, hunting dogs. The Amy Winehouse lookalike, pregnant woman killed by dogs at Villers-Cotterêts, VC. Okay, let's get another one because they're not going to. BBC. So I've covered this for years. It was on the 20th of November. It's the same as the 211. 29, that's the cycle of Saturn. Eliza Macbeth line, the Liza Minnelli. So this is where I used to live, where I was telling you the armistice is signed the 11/11. and she was killed by 93 dogs, which is 3-9. It happened at 1-3, the 13th, the pack of hounds. And there is Amy Winehouse, this rising of the whore of Babylon. And she was, of course, in a 4x4 wheel drive. That's your 44DD. Basically bringing in this Dodi Diana statue, marking this new, it's called the, I said it at the beginning of the video, but this mathematical Harlequin Diamond, Neil Diamond, the new Nile. And this is that COVID image showing us. So let's just finish this video with this thing in Saudi Arabia.
I lived in France for 6 months. Parents.
Oh, I don't want that noise. This video, the line, Nile, Neil Diamond. The line is planned to be 170 kilometers long, preserving 95% of the nature within Neom. It will stretch from the Red Sea to the city of Tabuk. It is intended that it will have 9 million residents, resulting in an average population density of 26. So putting everyone in a straight line. The line consists of 2 mirrored buildings with an outdoor space in between, having a total width of 200 meters. And run on artificial intelligence.
So Saudi Arabia has done what no one thought was possible and actually started building.
It starts below the Jordan line.
It's a 500
And look at
tall
that.
linear city that's supposed to stretch for 170 kilometers across the desert. It's absolutely incredible. Work has now begun. Drone footage has come out.
Being
Look at it. It's
built.
absolutely insane. Showing this thing being constructed. Obviously got a long way to go until
I
it's
don't
going to look like
think we
these
get
crazy
that
lenses.
there. You see
But the fact they've actually
that.
started this is big news.
So that is
So
your
Saudi Arabia has done
dune,
what no
your
one thought was
there,
possible,
your
actually started building
this
the
worm
line.
coming
This thing
out.
is insane. It's a 500-meter tall
and this very much in the style of the Venus Project, which was a very new age concept built in France, the new way of living, which is what we see in Saudi Arabia. And that rain coming to the desert is bringing fertility to the dry
The fact
lands.
they've actually started this.
Okay, that has been very long, but I am not going to be able to talk to you now because of my trip away in these ultimate dates. And so yeah, that's the 211, and I think that that happened in 2019 was the opening of COVID with Sirius, the dog, and it happened, it was the 20th of November, so that's 2/11, and I have spoken about that for a lot in old videos, but it's all coming together now. Okay, my darling, so maybe I'll be able to come back to you before I go away. I'm not sure, but I will be doing a newsletter today and hopefully another one before I leave. And so I'll be away from the 14th to the 22nd, and you can book readings I've got a few places left before I go, otherwise it will be after when I come back. All my love. Oh yes, just before I go,
Non, je chante pas sa chanson, je connais aucune chanson. Happy Birthday, tu connais? Donc elle l'a fait, et bon, il faut bien reconnaître qu'à l'époque, elle avait un timbre de voix assez sympathique.
So I auditioned for them, but then they said that they didn't want me to be a backup singer. They wanted to bring me to Paris to make me a star.
So darlings, take care. Read this. I'll put it at the beginning in my comments. And it's just about how you got to stay cool.
Un jour, elle l'a regardé en lui disant, tu vois, aujourd'hui c'est toi qui es numéro 1. Demain, ça sera moi.
And sending you all my love. Talk to you the next time I can. Bye for now.